Hello everyone, myself Sabri and I welcome you to our channel Solution Bridge Network and one-stop solution for all your Power Platform tutorials.
Hello everyone. In today's video, we are going to understand how to handle errors in patch function. I would like to use the same Power App what I have created in the previous video with a small tweak where we have discussed what is a patch function and how to implement a patch function in Power Apps. In the previous video, we might have seen that we have included employee ID, name, department, and date of joining. For this video, I have added a new column called age. So let me edit this app. And if you see, these are the individual controls what I have placed. And in the save data button, I do have a direct patch function which patches the information to a source which is named as employee information. Once this is patched, we're trying to reset all the controls on the screen. And I do have a simple gallery where I've just referenced the employee information and I'm sorting it with sort order.descending. I have a button called mark exit. Let me take you to the on select property where I'm just patching that exit date of that selected item to be today. If you see here, we do have the exit date and hence we are not seeing the mark exit. Let me take you to the source where we can see all the available columns what we are seeing on the screen. So employee ID, name, department, date of joining, date of exit and age. Other than date of exit and age, all other columns are mandatory as per the source. To verify that, you can click the columns drop down, go to column settings and then edit, followed by clicking more options. You will see requires that column contains information is marked as yes. An additional validation, what we have in the employee name column is we are mandating that this column should not have any duplicate values. So I just made sure enforce unique value is also toggled to yes. And in the age column, we are not mandating it, but we still have given a minimum and the maximum limit. So minimum, we are setting that age should be 18 and the age should not be greater than 58. So these are the certain conditions that the source validates. Now, let me get back to the screen and make sure what the patch function does for all these validations. I would like to keep employee ID, name and department blank and I'll give the age as 30 which is inside the limit and I'll try to save the data. Whenever the data is saved successfully, you will be able to see that new column being added here. So let me click on save data. You can see an error popped up which says field employee name is required, but this is not only the one error what the patch function returns. It just shows the first error what it returned. So we know employee ID is also mandatory, department is also mandatory. Here, just to show all the error message in one go, we should use a function called errors. So let me go back to the edit mode and I have a one more blank screen where I have a simple gallery and I have connected that gallery to the errors function of employee name. If I just select that, it will give the output in the form of a table and whenever you expand, you can see that there are three columns which are mandatory is missing and which says field employee name is required, field department is required and field employee ID is required. We need to make sure that the error what we are showing on the top just explicitly tells all these. So let me go to the screen one and in the patch function, I would like to make a small modification. So here, let's say add a function called IfError, open bracket, the complete patch function inside it. And then let me say a comma, whenever patching this, if it finds an error, what it should do is it should notify. So notify the list of errors, whatever the patch function or the source returns to the app. So what I would like to do, I would like to use the errors function, errors of the source employee information. I'd like to take back to the screen one where if you notice this, this errors function has different columns, which is column name, error, message, and record. So what we are trying to do is we will call out the individual column name and the message in the notify function. So in the screen one, what we are trying to do is we are trying to concat the table. What we are trying to use here is the error function, error of the employee information, and then the expression, the format what we are trying to concat is column, semicolon, the message for that specific column. So let's call in column, use an ampersand, and in the double quotes, use the semicolon, and then again we call an ampersand and we call the message column. Let's say to just differentiate each of the line item, I would like to add one more item, ampersand. I will say the two straight lines, or you call it as AND operator, which defines that this is the end of that message and the following is the second message. So let me close the concat function, call this notification as a type of error. So it's notification type dot error, and let's close the bracket. Whenever it is false, it can just directly go ahead and reset its values. And here, by the end of the statement, I would like to close the if error statement, what we have opened at the top. Now, whenever we run this, if we click save data, now you see a field name, that is column name, employee name is required, department is required, and the employee ID is required. So let's fill in those information. I'll say the employee ID is 3, employee name as employee A, just to make sure that duplicate error is being parsed. And the department, I'll call it as IT, and age we can say is 36. Now if you click save data, you get only one error which says the request operation is invalid, because this is a duplicate record which the source is not accepting. That's the reason you're getting that. Normally the error function just returns the error what the source gives to the app. Here, SharePoint just says that this is not a valid operation, and hence we are seeing that information directly on the screen. To add an additional validation here, what you can do, you can add a text label, place it in the bottom of the employee name. Let me adjust it. I would like to bring down the text values to 10 and make the color of that text as red. Here, what we're gonna do, I'm gonna use an if condition. If lookup employee information where employee name is equal to, this is text input 1_1 dot text. Whenever we have a value for this, let's say is blank of this lookup function dot, I would like to call in the employee name. Whenever this is blank, I'm not worried. So let's say it's a blank function, else you need to say duplicate exist. Let's close the bracket. Now, whenever you enter an employee name, which is already available in the list, this says duplicate exist. If you just convert that to a different name, again, it just rechecks the validation. And here you see the employee C already exists, and hence the error. Let's say if you say employee D, then you will not have that error. Consider whenever an employee C exists, we need to make sure that we are not letting the user to save the information. So I would like to select this label. I'll call it as error employee name. So what I would like to do in the save button is to change the display mode of that. So go to the display mode property and use an if function. If is blank of the error employee name dot text, then it should be display mode dot edit, or if it is not blank, then it is display mode dot disabled. Let's close the bracket. Here, the button gets disabled. The reason being there is an error message available. When you run it and change it to appropriate name, the error message goes away and the save button is visible. Here, you already know that there is an additional logic where the number should be between 18 and 58. So I would like to add a number called 65 and click on save. Now the error message says that age value must be between 18 and 58. Whenever you have the right information, in all the columns, you will be able to save the data. Once saved, you can see that the new employee what we have saved is available in the gallery. By this, we come to end of this video. Here in this video, we have understood how to handle an error in the patch function. So we have used errors function and if error to make sure we are implementing the required validation as per the data source before we are trying to patch the field to the source. If you have any questions, please post it in the comment section and we will be able to help.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe our channel, hit the like button, and press the bell icon for our new video alerts.